here with the Governor Shapiro and Secretary Redding, Agriculture, and we're here just discussing the fruit industry, just the losses that we have this year. Many of you probably don't understand the scope of the losses or even know that we had losses just a week or so ago with the freeze. We pretty much have a total loss across the state, and just talking of how we can navigate through all of it. So with all that, I'll turn this over to Secretary Redding, and he can speak.
Okay. Thanks. Hey, Corey, thank you, and good morning, everybody. And a special note of thanks to Corey for hosting, and just a sub point there. This is the guy who makes the Farm Show Apple display and the market work. So, Corey, thank you to you and your family. And to the other growers, thank you for being here. Very much appreciated to the members of the House and Senate, and certainly to the Governor. It's always good to stand with you in the field, regardless of what we're doing, but thank you for your support. As noted, April 21 is really a day that will define the fruit industry in Pennsylvania for 2026. It defined it, right? Everything that we do from this point forward is defined by that day. We have completely changed landscape in the state. We have heard that from our growers, from stakeholders. We have been working with our USDA officials, with the House and Senate leaders, and certainly with the Governor as well. We have heard your concerns. We continue to work at getting a good and better handle on the extent of losses and the damages. But what we also have heard very clearly, the loss here is staggering. It's very different. It's serious and unparalleled in its damage compared to other previous losses. We see the magnitude of the loss right here. We see the magnitude of this loss in your eyes as growers, and we hear it in your voices as well. We understand that there are many levels to this impact, right? There are certainly state level impacts. We have community and county impacts. There's a very personal impact, right? This is about the folks here who work these lands and orchards and depend on these crops for their livelihood and, of course, to feed our community. As part of our damage assessment, we reached out to a number of partners, to include Penn State University and the College of Agricultural Sciences in our Fruit and Extension Research Center. And that is an important sort of resource to Pennsylvania. They are our lead partner on a lot of the research and work here in Pennsylvania for our fruit industry. We'd asked the question of Dr. Daniel Weber about the extent of this damage, and he shared several things which I'd like to just pull from his memo. He says, what has happened in 2026 has resulted in catastrophic crop losses among all pome and stone fruit crops produced in Pennsylvania, losses not seen in decades. In addition, he ends with a couple of really important questions that he prompts us and Secretary of USDA on. He says, will surviving fruit be sufficient size and abundance to be worth expenditures in labor to harvest? Should preparations now be made now to send fruit crop to juicing? Should the trees be stripped to focus on the tree health? Should H2A crews be sent back now at the owner's expense? Will local labor be sufficient? And you think about those questions, right? They are about the very personal pieces of the economic aspects that I note, and certainly are concerned here to Pennsylvania as well. We know it's important to recognize that it's not simply about the orchard itself or the fruit, it's the ripple effects and what happens across both the state and to these growers. And importantly, as we heard this morning, there are aspects of this industry that are important to us in terms of how you harvest and process and pack and distribute that ultimately influences both the accessibility of those crops, but also have to be in view as we think about response. And this is important from a packing and a processing standpoint, and we'll talk more about that. We need to recognize But all of this is part of the conversation that we're having in the critical supply chain. I'll say this, that as challenging as this moment is, there isn't another state that I would rather be working through this problem in. We have demonstrated the importance of agriculture. The governor has spoken to this many times and has led efforts to really make investments, direct investments, that have made a tremendous difference. We know what resiliency looks like and how you build that resiliency here. And through those tough situations, we're prepared to really look at and modeled after things that we've done. You think about ag innovation and certainly our centers of excellence and direct investments in high path AI and fresh market. I can give you the list, but the point is that these are things that we know how to do, that we've made direct investments in agriculture. And certainly this is one of the moments that we're called upon to really look at our history and what we've done and then how to respond in this moment. But we can't do this alone, and it'll certainly require all of the partners, to include our federal partners as well. So to all the growers who are wondering what comes next, Pennsylvania agriculture has faced hard seasons before, and we'll get through this one. There is strength in this community, there is strength in the families, and certainly in the people who get up every day and keep farming despite the uncertainty. And no one understands perseverance more than the agricultural community. There's also a strength in Pennsylvania's leadership. And this is one of the moments where I appreciate living where I live and be governed by who we're governed by. This is important. The governor knows the importance of agriculture. He's been there in the tough times and good times. Whether you're in the office or in the field, he understands the importance of this industry and the people behind it, both to the work that we've done, but also the important work yet to do. So I'm proud to stand with him in this field, in this orchard. Governor, thank you for what you do. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And want to thank you all for being here today on what is really just a tragic and devastating moment for our ag community all across this Commonwealth, but particularly in this region. The April freeze has just, I know, devastated families and farms and hopes and dreams and livelihoods. And I'm here to say very plainly and very clearly, we got your backs. We care deeply about you, the farmers, the producers, the packers, and others, and we're going to help you get back up on your feet. Corey, I want to thank you for allowing us to be here on your beautiful farm. The only thing that make it more beautiful, of course, would be the blossoms everywhere. These farms are important to me. They're important to our Commonwealth, to our economy, and to our way of life. And we know that there is a long road ahead. As your governor, I want you to know we're going to take every step we can to help you get through this. I want to talk about a few of the specific things that we intend to do immediately. One, we're going to be working with our colleagues at the federal level, including Secretary Rollins, the head of the USDA, to receive approval for funding, emergency funding, to support these farmers. In addition to that, second, the Secretary is going to be working with Secretary Rollins' team, meeting with the RMA leadership next week to work through those issues. On the state level, I intend later today to submit language to the House of Representatives and the Senate. I'm grateful that your representative is here, along with Senator Schwank, the leader of the Ag Committee in the Senate, together with Senator Malone and a representative of Senator Martin's office, language that will allow us to flex funding from the High Path Avian Influenza Fund, which has roughly $75 million in that, which has been incredibly important to our poultry farmers to help them get back up on their feet after dealing with high path avian influenza. We want to be able to flex some of those dollars to help those fruit farmers who have been impacted by this freeze. I'm confident that we'll be able to get bipartisan consensus on that. I want to thank the two senators and the representative who are here today for their support in that initiative, and I expect others to follow suit on that front. In addition to that, we're going to keep listening to our farmers to make sure that they have what they need and to work on some of the issues to protect those packagers and others who are going to need some help to ensure that our market doesn't collapse here with other outside markets coming in and compressing what should be shelves and what should be areas that are occupied with Pennsylvania fruits. I'm proud that we are top 5 in the country when it comes to apples and strawberries and cherries and a whole lot more. I want to continue to be top 5, if not number 1, and we know that we've got something to get through here as a result of that freeze. We'll battle back, and we will be stronger than ever before. So I just want you guys to all know we got your back. We care deeply about you, and we're going to fight to make sure that all of this gets done. The USDA disaster declaration, the direct support from the feds, the direct support from the state. We're going to work together to get all this done, and we'll be back, Corey, and we'll be stronger than ever. I'll just say on a personal note in closing here, I was sharing this with Corey earlier. There's a farm in Bucks County which looks remarkably similar, that since our 4 children were very, very little, each fall Lori and I would take our kids there, and they'd pick apples, and we'd eat the apple cider donuts, and we'd take pictures of the kids climbing up the ladders, which I know you don't allow here, but for some reason we let our kids do. And we've got those pictures hanging up in our family home as a reminder of just the important memories that we've been able to build with our kids over the years, especially on farms here in Pennsylvania. And that's a very special thing to me. I know it's a very special thing to families, along with, of course, our farmers. And I want to make sure that we're able to protect that way of life and protect those stories and that legacy here in the Commonwealth, and we will do exactly that. So, Corey, thank you again for letting us be here. And with that, Corey will be happy to answer all your questions. Steve.
Perfect. I wanted to ask Corey the first question. Well, out there on our tour, we heard that you were not going to get any revenue for the next year and a half. I think it's important for people to understand exactly what you mean by that. If you could explain a little further.
So apples are harvested in the fall. So we will not have any apples this fall. So it won't be till next fall till we harvest any apples. So that would be the first income that we can have coming in from this orchard.
And then you mentioned that you would have to wait till next year's crop to be able to receive more revenue in the fall of 27?
Yeah, the fall of 27 would be the first revenue that we would be able to get off of this orchard, with all the inputs that we have to continue to put in to keep these trees going.
Governor, is there enough flex funding to allow coverage for the number of farmers throughout the Commonwealth?
It depends. So there's about $75 million in our state fund. The farmers should qualify for some amount of insurance that will come from the losses. We're still tallying up the losses. Secretary will provide in the coming weeks an exact number, but it's somewhere between $150 and $200 million. But we've got hopefully the state fund, if the legislature gives us that flexibility, some insurance dollars, plus whatever relief we can get from the Fed. So there will not be one fund that covers 100% of the cost, but hopefully we can cobble together these different resources to help. I think it's safe to say we will not be able to make up dollar for dollar losses, but we will do everything in our power to help sustain these farmers and others through this next year so they can come back stronger than ever.
I have an off-topic question.
Let's
but
go
I'll
on topic,
Sure.
so we'll go back to you, Steve. Go ahead, Ellen.
Yeah, hi, Sarah Niceman from LNP. I know you mentioned giving or asking for federal emergency funding.
Yeah.
How much will you be asking for, and is there a rough timeline on when farmers can start to see the benefits for that?
Yeah, I'll ask the Secretary. I know you've been in conversations with the feds to speak about that.
Yeah, thank you. So we today, through the governor, have made our official declaration request to Secretary Rollins. And that's important, right? So that sets in motion these types of conversations about what the losses look like. As noted earlier, this is not limited to Pennsylvania. This is from the Shenandoah to the Hudson Valleys. So it's a regional disaster. That'll have to be considered by the USDA. The initial approval, if it comes, when it comes, will be on the loan side, right? So we want to work with our congressional delegation and federal partners to look at disaster assistance which would be in addition to any loan support that could come from the USDA.
And there's no official numbers for what that could be.
There's not a number yet. We should note that to request a declaration takes at least a 30% loss. Everything that we've seen and have heard, you're 70, 80, 90, 100% loss. So no issue there with what the triggering is, but there's not a dollar request in that, just the declaration to set it in motion.
Matt, go ahead.
Matt Enright, Lancaster Farming. I've got one for you, Secretary, and one for you, Governor. So, Governor, just to double check, when you're talking about the avian influenza fund, is that the Ag Disaster Readiness Fund, and do you actually need legislative approval for that?
That is the fund. It's got roughly $75 million in it. It gets replenished as time goes on, and I would need language approved by the legislature to allow flexibility for me to spend those dollars on something other than high-path avian influenza. I have to believe the legislature will give us that authority to flex it for an additional need, which would be for our fruit producers here.
Gotcha. Okay. And then, Secretary, you mentioned being in contact at the federal level. Are you in contact with your counterparts from other states? What are you hearing from them? That kind of thing.
Yeah, so just this morning, the state of Virginia, Commissioner of Agriculture in Virginia reached out. He had heard about the call that we did a week ago with producers and wanting to know what the sense of Pennsylvania losses are, number one, and two, well, what are you going to do about it? And asking whether the state's going to ask for a declaration. So I'll call them back, right? That's in motion. We've also heard from the state of New York. They're trying to assess their situation. It looks like maybe they weren't quite as far along in some regions, but they still have some significant loss. So, yes.
And sorry, just a quick follow-up about the federal partners. What are you hearing from them right now?
So we really strategized when we did the initial call with the growers last week about the partners, right? We knew we can't deal with all of this ourselves, so we included Bill Beam, who is the administrator for the Farm Service Agency and a Chester Countyan, so he heads the USDA Farm Service Agency. We included the administrator Swanson, who the Risk Management Agency, were both on the call with us. They heard what we heard, and in both tone and the substance of that. Follow up with Administrator Beam was didn't realize it was that significant, right? So I think they've got it. We're meeting with them next week. I mean, many of these conversations now are about getting as much flexibility from the Risk Management Agency to make sure that we incentivize the harvest of the crop, but also put these growers in a good position to really weather, as Corey notes, the year plus without a paycheck. So I think they're solidly on board. The governor's been in contact and continues to engage Secretary Rollins. I think they understand the significance of this. The letters that we have attached to the declaration request from the governor to Secretary Rollins make these points very clearly, that we're going to need their help. But it's going to take a whole of government to really do it, both on the congressional side and the administration side.
Thank you both.
Bailey, go ahead.
We talked a lot about HPAI and those poultry farmers that have been suffering a similar conversation. I feel like we've just had not too long ago.
Yeah. I think we were here in Lancaster together on this. Yeah.
Can we speak to the success that those farmers have seen with that fund money to maybe give hope to some of these farmers that are going through a similar situation right now?
Yeah, I mean, look, our poultry farmers have faced devastating impacts from HPAI, which came here a lot earlier this year than other areas. We've been able to dedicate millions of dollars from that fund to help those poultry farmers get back up on their feet. They know we give a damn about them. They know we've got the resources to help. They are organized effectively to be able to provide us the information we need so we can process those payments. I can have the Secretary's office give you an exact amount of dollars we've outlaid there, but I think that model has worked. And I want all of our apple farmers and other apple producers and others to know we give a damn about you as well. And we've got a model on how to make this work when you feel down and out to help you get back up on your feet, support you, and get you through this. There is a really significant difference between the two. And that is, and you heard Corey speak about this before, our poultry farmers, with some help, can kind of get back up on their feet within 4 to 6 months. In this case, you're looking at a year or more of lag time, and that is especially challenging for these farmers who are here, and so we've got to work through the unique challenges that they're going to face given those timelines.
Did
you want to add something?
You guys really supported us in plum pox.
Go ahead.
So,
Yeah.
we have gotten support. I'm not sure what year it was, but the plum pox, 2000. That was really a huge help and support with that. So hopefully we can get through this as well, like the plum pox.
You want to add something? Yeah, I'm just there are parallels between sort of the high path AI and poultry and what we're thinking about here, right? So when we talk to the poultry producers, there are a couple of things that stood out. One is the labor, right? Their workforce, and making sure that they didn't lose the workforce. And I would say the same here, right? There's concerns about the people, both family, domestic, and in some cases the foreign-born workers. Two, making sure that you can meet the bank requirements, right? We don't put anybody in jeopardy. And three, just like maintenance costs, about how do you build that bridge between the moment you're in and the better day. And I think all of that is transferable here: maintenance costs, bank and finance concerns, and then labor.
43 quickly, then back to Steve, guys.
I believe, Mr. Secretary, this would be a better question for you. Before arriving here today, I had seen on Facebook Honey Bear Orchards based in Lebanon County report 100% loss. I bring that up as an example as orchards, farms, small businesses continue to calculate their loss. How best can they report those numbers to maybe receive federal or state funding in the near future?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we are working on our own sort of assessment. So we've talked to growers and producers and crop insurance agents, and we're doing that. But importantly, for every producer, make sure that the local farm service agency, the USDA FSA office, as they're termed, knows of the losses of that producer. Clearly, if you have a crop insurance policy, your crop insurance agent, they should have been notified by now just based on the loss, but then that USDA number becomes part of what Secretary Rollins looks at when she looks at the governor's request for declaration as to whether there were significant losses or not. So that's a critical step. Thank you.
Steve, go ahead. Off topic, then we're going to wrap, guys.
Governor, on Wednesday, Senate Democrats, led by Senator Costa and Senator Hughes, said that Senate Republicans were wasting time, not accomplishing what needs to be done to get an appropriations bill to your desk. Do you agree with that statement, and what's it going to take to get that bill to your desk?
I mean, look, I introduced my budget in February. The House passed it roughly a month ago. It's sitting over in the Senate. Senate should come back to work and process a budget. We'll make the compromises that no doubt are going to need to be made. I recognize that the proposal I put forth is going to have to be amended in order to make its way through the process, but they should come back to work. They should do their jobs. They should get a budget to my desk as soon as possible.
One follow-up real quick. And your favorite topic, basketball. Sixers are down 0-2.
Oh, God.
Your former point guard, what do you do to turn things around? And what do you say to the people of New York City that are taking Philadelphia cheesesteaks off their restaurant and bar menus?
Yeah, first off, I'm so sick of Knicks fans, okay? And I cannot wait to not have to look at Timothy Chalamet every time the Knicks do something well on the sidelines. I'll be excited to see Allen Iverson on the sidelines tonight. Second, you shouldn't be eating a cheesesteak in New York in the first place. So for them to go out and badmouth cheesesteaks in New York, I don't care. They're going to come here to Philadelphia. They'll have an opportunity for a really good cheesesteak, and they'll enjoy it a whole lot more than New York. And I think the Sixers, presumably with Joel Embiid back, are in a strong position to win these next two games. I think we beat a better squad in Boston. I think Boston's better than New York. We just got to keep the defensive intensity up, make a few more threes. I thought we got a little tired at the end of the last game. It's tough with Maxey playing, 48 minutes in the last game. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of relief with Joel back, win these next two games, and then go back to New York and see a bunch of nervous Knicks fans there watching the Sixers. Thanks, guys.
That's good. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Well done.